Gonna have panel discussion with all our guest speakers.
Good afternoon, everybody. I will start right now. For the trend of aquaculture industry in Thailand. So, first of all, I want to inform some benefit or some advantage of the aquaculture over the world. We can see the demand of the fishery products in the world grow very fast because of the population increase, and the fishery products mainly the the fishery product increase the demand, but we can see the capture from the sea quite consistently, the blue line. Okay. So sorry. The blue line, you can see the capture from the sea quite consistency, but the demand increase. Then the aquaculture business grow very fast. Lovely, the growth of the aquaculture business growth around 10 to 15% every year. That's the reason why this business have more chance to invest. And for the feed production in the world, you can see the whole requirement. 10 feed producing country we come from the China. Because of China is the big country, the high population, then the feed production also high. Followed by US, Brazil, India, yeah, Spain, Japan. We can see Japan and so on. So China and India is the big country and produce feed a lot. It's a big market for the feed business. And the growth rate very high. For the Asian countries, China and India also produce a lot of feed supply to the market, followed by Japan, Thailand, and Vietnam. So Vietnam for the aquaculture business grow very fast. Right now, I think roughly equal or grow faster than Thailand. And the aqua feed market overview of the world. In 2020, you can see we produce around 50 million metric tons. 2025 forecast to 71 million metric tons. So we can say that the aqua feed production increase around 100% every 10 years. Yeah. That follow the growth of the aquaculture business. This feed production in the world mainly for poultry, because of the poultry business bigger than aqua feed. The pig business around 27%, ruminants around 20%, aquaculture just only 4%. But compared to poultry and pig or the ruminant, the margin from the feed from aquaculture a little bit high compared to the other species. And this one is the feed production in Thailand. So broiler also the big market, around 7 million metric ton per year. Pig 7 million metric ton, layer around 2 million to 3 million. Shrimp and fish just only 0.5 to 0.7 million metric ton. Yeah. This is the aqua feed market in Thailand. And due to this time, the raw material crisis, yeah, is the big problem for every feed mill, every country in the world. You can see the increase of the price, the fish meal price increase and no trend to reduction. Soybean meal also the same due to the drought in US, in America and Europe. That's the reason why soybean price also increased a lot during these 2 3 years. And this year the situation very are very critical. The fish oil, also soy oil, the price also increased a lot. And also for the palm oil, palm oil we use for fish feed. Palm oil price increase and no trend to decrease. Corn and wheat also increase. So you can see the raw material crisis during this time, and this is the big problem for every country, not only in Thailand. Yeah, but the important thing is the aquafit grow very fast, around 10% every year, and increase 100% in 10 years. The supply of the fish meal very limit and price consistency, roughly around 7 million metric tons for supply to the whole world. That's the reason why when the aquafit increase, it means that the inclusion rate of fish meal in the fish formula decrease. If you see from 2000, the inclusion rate of the fish meal around 24%. When the feed grow, the feed production increased from 14 to 29 million metric ton. The inclusion rate decreased from 24 to 16. To this last 2 years, the aquafit production increased to 65 million metric ton. The inclusion rate of fish meal decreased to 7%. This is the inclusion rate that we use for carnivorous fish for today. Yeah, what is mean? It means that for the herbivorous fish, the inclusion rate lower than this. Yeah. For the inclusion rate of fish meal in trout and salmon, you can see from the red picture. Previously, in 1995, the inclusion rate of fish meal in trout and salmon it takes around 40 to 45%. But because of the limitation of fish meal supply in the world, but aquafit grow very fast. Inclusion rate decreased from 40 to 45 to around 30 to 35% in 2005. Today, 2020, the inclusion rate of fish meal in salmon and trout decreased to around 12%, 12 to 15%. This because of the limitation of fish meal. Fish oil also the same. Previously, in 1995, the inclusion rate roughly around 20 to 25%. But today, the fish oil inclusion rate decreased to less than 10% in salmon and trout. For the freshwater species like the catfish and the tilapia, you can see the fish meal inclusion rate less than 10% in previously in 1995. Today, around 2%. In some species, zero fish meal. What the feed meal do? The feed meal do by replace this fish meal by using some animal protein, including the plant protein. And this picture show you the fish meal inclusion here rate in every species. Yeah. In the top is fish meal. Mainly we use it for crustacean. Yeah, around 28% for crustacean and around 21% for marine fish, and the other 24% for salmon. Yeah, this one is the share of the fish meal for every species in the world. For fish oil mainly also for crustacean, salmon, and also the marine fish. And the raw material that we use for replace fish meal, or we use the raw material. In case of the plant material, we use soybean meal a lot. When soybean meal price increase, is the problem for every feed meal or every feed production in the world. Poultry, soy, ruminant, including the aquafit. Not only soybean meal we use, the other is rapeseed meal. Rapeseed meal share around 28%, 28 million metric ton. And also cottonseed. The other is sunflower. The rest one is very little, 5-6%. For the oil, we use the palm oil. Mainly is palm oil around 27 million metric ton, and for the soybean oil is around 10 million metric ton because share with the human consume. And the other is the cottonseed, sunflower seed oil. Yeah. This is the raw material that we use for aquafeed, for the feed production in the world, supply for every species. Yeah. And this one show you the change of the feed formula from 1990 to around 2006. Other inclusion rate in 2020 for the salmon and trout. But one thing that we can notice, not only the fish meal inclusion rate reduction and the plant protein increase, like the percentage of soybean inclusion increase. Fish oil also the same, decrease, and we replace the fish oil by using the vegetable oil. When we reduce the fish meal inclusion rate and decrease the fish oil inclusion in the feed formula, yes, we can balance the amino acid. We can adjust the fatty acid profile, but we cannot totally replace. Inside the fish meal and fish oil is contain a lot of active ingredient, the small active ingredient that sometimes we cannot identify what is the ingredient. We just call it unidentified cofactor. So when we change the feed formula, decrease the fish meal, decrease fish oil, use some more plant protein and the vegetable oil, we need to add the micro ingredient. This micro ingredient is not only the vitamins and minerals. Sometimes it includes some material to improve the digestibility of plant material. It's the ingredient to promote the immunity because of some active ingredient lose when we reduce the fish meal and fish oil. So you can see the percentage of the microingredient in the orange one in the left picture. It increased from 1% to 3.7%. When you reduce the fish meal inclusion rate, this picture also the same. That's the reason why today we go to the technique to improve the quality of feed, not only the physical of feed, but also the nutrient profile and help the digestion of the raw material. So which material we can use it for replace the fish meal during the raw material crisis today? The alternative material for the protein source, mainly we focus on the animal protein because of the amino acid profile of the fish meal and the animal protein quite close together, but not the same. We also need to adjust some amino acid, but we can see many material we can use it and the amino acid profile close to the fish meal profile. Meat and bone meal, poultry meal, feeder meal, blood meal, marine protein, like squid meal, krill meal, or the shrimp head meal, shrimp meal. Insect meal also is one material that we focus today, including the single cell protein like the yeast product, the bacteria, and also the algae or the seaweed. Yeah, we also use it in the feed formula. The animal protein contain not only the protein, it also contain a lot of lipid. Yeah, like meat and bone meal, poultry meal, or pork meal. It have a lot of lipid inside, and the lipid in the raw material, because of most come from the waste, this lipid easy to rancid. And the rancid oil will cause a lot of problems for the animal. We need to concern on this point. The other material that we can replace the fish meal, not only the animal protein source, We also can use the plant protein material like the cereal and grain byproduct from the energy processing from ethanol plant, for example, the corn gluten meal, the wheat gluten meal, DDGS, we can use it as the raw material to replace the fish meal. And also legume and other feed grain for the food and feed, like the full-fat soybean meal, lupin, pea meal, and lentils. We also can use it, but some raw material in some country, the import tax is limited. Yeah, like Thailand, we difficult to import lupin, although lupin price not good and the quality of lupin very well. Yeah, but we have the import tax. Yeah, for this product, so we need to find another material that's suitable than lupin. Pea meal also can use. The other is the product from vegetable oil seed cake, like the soybean meal, rapeseed, canola, and cottonseed meal. So this group of product, rapeseed and cottonseed, we know they contain a lot of anti-nutritional factor and some toxic material. In livestock, we said that the inclusion rate should be less than 5% to prevent the problems of retard the growth. But for the aquatic animal different from the livestock. The livestock, the drinking water limit the limit using the high anti-nutritional factor material because of difficult for the animal to get rid of the toxic product from excretion in urea, in the urine. But for the aquatic species, when they consume the feed, they consume a lot of water. This water will dilute the toxic material to the low concentration, and the feed formula can compose with a little bit high inclusion rate for rapeseed and also cottonseed. In some feed formula, rapeseed we can increase the inclusion rate up to 15. Cottonseed can increase it up to 30%, like in China, in India. Although at this high inclusion rate, it retards a little bit growth, but compared with the feed cost, the farmers still have benefit when using this feed formula with high inclusion rate of rapeseed and cottonseed because of the price is cheaper than the high quality feed. And the culture period extend a little, around 1 to 2 months. That reasonable for the farmer who culture the fish in some area. Because of some part of India, they can culture the fish just only 6 or 8 months a year. So they cannot culture 2 crops a year, different from the lower part of India or China. Yeah, that's the reason why one crop, if they use the high quality feed or premium feed, they culture just only 4 or 5 months. The other 3 or 4 months, they cannot do anything. That's the reason why they use a little bit low quality feed and extend the culture period to save costs, to save the feed cost, operating cost, and get more benefit when using this kind of material. And also for the protein concentrate from the dehulled seed, like the soy protein concentrate, canola protein concentrate, or corn protein concentrate. We know this product really good quality, low fiber, and the amino acid profile very good, but the price also high. It's suitable for some kind of fish, like the premium feed or the marine fish feed, which require the high protein. Yeah, not suitable for all feed formula. Yeah. But we can use it. So the plant ingredient, not only the protein source, plant ingredients can provide the carbohydrate as the energy for the feed formula. Today, the corn price and also the wheat price very high due to the Russian-Ukraine crisis and also the logistic cost increase. The important thing is not only the high price, the shortage of the material is very important. So we try to find some raw material, some carbohydrate source to replace for the wheat in shrimp feed and in fish feed because of the wheat grain price also increase a lot. Corn is one choice that we can we can use it for replace the wheat grain and also wheat flour in the feed formula. But the problem of corn is the hard starch. Hard starch material is difficult to digest. By using corn, we need to improve the digestibility of the raw material. And also some feed formula when you use corn replace for the wheat. Yeah, the problem is the physical of feed not as good as when you use feed. So you need to improve something, like add some binder, yeah, like PMC, polymethylcarbamide, carboxymethylcarbamide, the poor gum, lignosulfonate or xanthan. Gum depend on what kind of feed and the water stability that you need from this feed. The other can replace for the wheat. Today we can use the tapioca, but tapioca different from corn. Tapioca is soft starch material, so it's easy to digest, easy to gelatinize, but it's easy to expand. When you use tapioca at the high inclusion rate in shrimp feed, the tapioca expand and make your feed floating. They're not suitable for the shrimp, so you need to concern on this part. Yeah. Even in the extruder also the same because of the tapioca start easy to expand when you have the high inclusion rate in the feed, replace for the wheat. So the feed it will expand a lot. Yeah. And difficult to control the feed, the shape of the feed. Yeah. And all plant material is contain the anti-nutritional factor. Yeah. This is the important thing that we concern. Not only the phytate and also the fiber inside. Not only the phytate, including the fiber is the point that we need to concern. So come back to the animal protein source. The animal protein source, as we know, is provide the good quality of amino acid, yeah, in the material, but it also contain a lot of lipid. And this lipid, the product pass the high temperature during the processing before you get the raw material. This lipid easy to rancid. The point of rancid oil is the point that we need to concern. Because of rancid oil will suppress the immunity of animal, retard the growth. Yeah. In meat and bone meal, in poultry meal and pork meal, yeah, we have 2 points. One is the lipid inside the raw material. The second is digestibility. Because of fish meal is the high digestibility material. The digestibility of fish meal generally over 90%, but for the animal protein source and plant material, the digestibility lower than fish meal, roughly around 80 or lower than 80%. That's the reason why we need to improve the quality of the animal protein source in these 2 points, the protein digestibility and also the lipid rancidity. Fetal meal also the same. Although the fetal meal have low lipid in the material, but the amino acid profile not as good as the fish meal and also the digestibility not as good as the fish meal. We can improve the quality of the fetal meal by improve the digestibility using some enzyme treatment, but still not as good as fish meal. That's the reason why we need to balance the feed, the amino acid profile very well when we use the feed formula. Come back to the lipid digestibility. Fish meal and fish oil contain the lipid, especially the fatty acid in terms of the omega-3, omega-6, and long-chain fatty acid. The long-chain fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acid easy to digest. The digestibility of this fatty acid higher than the saturated fatty acid and higher than the medium-chain fatty acid in some cases. So when you use the
the poultry meal, or you use the palm oil or the soy oil. So you need to improve the digestibility of lipid. In the aquafeed, the percentage of lipid a little bit high compared with the livestock. Livestock just only 3-4%, but aquafeed start with 4, 5, 6 up to 15%. The high lipid content in the aquafeed, it will affect on the digestibility of another material because of lipid will cover or coated on the raw material and prevent or inhibit the digestion or the action of the enzyme. So when you have high lipid content in the feed formula, the protease enzyme and carbohydrate enzyme cannot come to digest protein inside the raw material because of lipid cover outside. So if you can digest this lipid and open the raw material to attach to the protease and carbohydrates, you can improve the digestibility of the raw material. And also lipid in the raw material easy to get rancid. You need to add some more antioxidant to improve the quality and prevent the oxidation of the lipid, make the animal can digest and utilize more lipid from the animal protein material. Generally, inside the animal body, they have the bile acid to improve the lipid digestion, to promote protein carbohydrate digestion and enhance the nutrient absorption. This one show you the function of the bile acid. Okay, you have the lipid in the middle in the core. So the bile acid come and cover or coated on the lipid droplet and then open the area for lipase come to digest the triglyceride inside. Yeah. After digest this process, during the digestion, this lipid droplet with the bile acid and the lipase, we call this material the micelle. Yeah, the size of the micelle is the material that all the molecule come to absorb. Yeah. Digest, release the fatty acid, release the glycerol. So by action of the lipase, you get the glycerol to be energy for the cell. And the long chain fatty acid, the medium chain, short chain fatty acid come to absorb, pass through the villi or pass through the lacteal and go to the liver and utilized by the animal cell. Not only the bile acid can be the emulsifier inside the animal digestive tract. You can use the lecithin, the lysolecithin, monoglyceride, or some cholesterol can also improve the digestibility of lipid. Yeah. But mainly come from the bile acid, lecithin or lysolecithin, and a little monoglyceride or diglyceride. So this picture shows you the function of the bile acid. You have the lipid droplet and you have the bile acid cover or coated on the lipid droplet. So this emulsion droplet can open the area for lipase come to digest. After digest, this molecule move to the surface of the epithelial cell. So you can see generally in the middle of the digestive tract, we need the acid, we need the neutral, a little bit basic condition. The pH roughly around 7.5 or 7.8, but on the epithelial cell of epithelial cell of villi, the area of microvilli, the condition is the basic, is the acid condition come from the activity of the probiotic. Yeah. And this condition is suitable for absorption, not only the lipid and also for the amino acid and sugar absorption. So when you use the acidifier, the organic acid in the diet, yeah, you can improve the absorption of the nutrient and get the high growth rate or better growth rate when you add a little bit acid condition. So the micelle. After you get the micelle, get the lipase activity, this molecule come to release the fatty acid for absorption, release the glyceride to absorb via the microvilli. The bile acid cannot absorb because of the molecule is large or huge molecule. So bile acid come back to function again and again, the same as the enzyme. Enzyme also, after digest the lipid, they can come back to digest the material again and again until it denature. To protect the enzyme and protect the bile acid, make it not denature, still function. Antioxidant is very important. Antioxidant for feed and also antioxidant for the biological cell like the vitamin A, C, E, yeah, including the group of herb extract, yeah, or the single cell protein material. They provide the antioxidant to protect or to reduce the free radical during the digestion. So you can protect the enzyme from using this antioxidant material, not only for the protect the raw material, just reduce the free radical inside the digestive tract and make the digestion and absorption process have high activity. For emulsifier process or emulsifier material, we go to see one parameter, we call it HLB. HLB is the hydrophilic and lipophilic balance. This is the proportion of the molecule part, the molecule part that can improve the emulsifier function of that molecule. Yeah. So it comes from the molecular weight of the hydrophilic part. Yeah. Hydrophilic part is the part that bound with the water. Multiplied by 20 and minus by the total molecule size. Yeah. So in this part, we give the score is 20. Low HLB value indicate oil soluble material. Yeah. Oil in water in oil. And high HLB indicate the water soluble is make the oil dissolve in the water. This one show you the parts that prefer the water, yes, for this material. So emulsifier and HLB value, you can see this one. Give the honor to Dr. Yovaman because this table we received from Dr. Yovaman, and thank you Dr. Yovaman for support this part. HLB value, yeah, it's come from 0 until 20. So it means that the percentage of the hydrophilic portion from 0 until 100. Low hydrophilic, it means that water inside the oil cover outside water in oil. And the high hydrophilic emulsifier is the oil in water. This one for the HLB of emulsifier material. You can see lecithin. Lecithin HLB is around 4 to 5. It means that it's easy to dissolve the water in the oil. This one help for feed manufacturing. Make the feed easy to mix the water and oil together in the conditioner before go to the pellet. For the lysolecithin HLB allow 8 to 12. So this one can be oil in water, can help the emulsification process. For the bisalt biacid HLB allow 19. This one is the product that can make it, we call it solubility. Easy to dissolve in the water, make the oil dissolve in the water. So the efficacy of the molecule compared by HLB, it means that biacid can improve the emulsification process and make the oil easy to digest, but not only one parameter, because the process they require a lot of parameter. Yeah, and this one just one point that we should focus when we select the emulsifier. The other is emulsifier help the digestibility of lipid. This one show you have the fish oil, soybean oil, rice bran oil, tallow oil, or palm oil. When you have the emulsifier including or incorporate with the oil, it will improve the digestibility around 5 to 20 to 25%, depend on what kind of oil and the condition that we run the trial. Not only help to digestion of the lipid. When the lipid digest very well and absorb, pass through the digestive tract, pass through the epithelial cell of villi, this lipid will bound with some lipid soluble material like vitamin A, C, E, including the carotenoid. So when you improve the lipid digestion, you can improve the absorption of carotenoid pass through the digestive tract. The animal will get more carotenoid, and the animal will carry lipid and carotenoid via the chylomicron. Finally, you will get more red color or more carotenoid accumulate in the animal cell. And the importance of the bile acid help absorb fat, soluble vitamin, help the digestion and absorption of the lipid, help to remove toxin and some toxic material, kill the micro, protection the gut via the function of the digestion, and also and also balance the blood sugar metabolism, protect against the gallstone, help fatty acid metabolism, trigger the glutathione production. So the emulsifier also, we cannot say it is the antioxidant, but it helps the antioxidant process or antioxidative stress process. Yeah. And we have many research on the fish and the shrimp trial, to see the performance of animal and lipid digestion and absorption. One question that we often found, the shrimp have or can synthesize the bile acid or not. From this paper, here you can search because of it's the open access paper. It shows that shrimp have the gene expression for synthesis the bile acid. Yeah. And when adding the exogenous bile acid in the in vitro condition, it's difficult to see the progress or the benefit from this bile acid because of the process that induce the emulsification. They destroy the bile acid because of the free radical process. But inside the animal body, when feed or the condition of the digestive tract, the animal release the antioxidative stress enzyme to control the free radical and protect the molecule of bile acid. We can found that in vitro condition can inhibit some pathogenic bacteria inside the digestive tract and reduce the problem of the disease contamination. Yeah. And this one also show you the effect of bile acid on some pathogenic bacteria. Yeah. You can see the efficacy to inhibit the bacteria, especially for the EMS. This one we cannot say is the direct effect of the bile acid, but the bile acid improve the immunity, make the animal healthy, protect the hepatopancreas of shrimp. Finally, the animal very healthy and can produce the immunity to defend themselves from this pathogen. Finally, you will get to reduce the damage of cell from the mycotoxin, especially for T2 toxin. You can study from this paper. And also, effect of bile acid on enhance the hepatopancreas health in white shrimp product. For this trial, we focus on study the effect of bile acid on growth performance and hepatopancreas health. Reduce the cost of feed formula by reduce the fish oil from the feed formula, from 2% to 1%, and adding some bile acid. And because of the bile acid or bile salt, it contains some cholesterol. Cholesterol very important for shrimp to promote or to synthesis the mole hormone, the X-dysone, and promote the growth. Including they also have some lecithin and taurine and glycine. So the function of taurine is provide the energy and also improve the antioxidative stress condition. For the trial, we have control. Control is the positive control with 2% fish oil, and then we reduce 1% fish oil. We call it negative control. And the third treatment is negative control plus 0.015% bile acid. And the other treatment 4 is negative control plus bile acid 0.3%, 0.03. And treatment 5 is the negative control plus bile acid 0.04. Positive control plus 0.4. The feed formula like this, bile acid. This one, positive control, not negative control. Treatment 5. We culture the shrimp in the cage, and stock the shrimp 100 individual. We stock the shrimp 100 individual and keep feed 3 times a day. Culture it for 8 weeks. What we found? We found that the positive control with the fish oil 2%, we get the high growth rate. When we reduce the fish oil 1%, the growth rate is decreased. When we add the bile acid, the growth rate is increased, especially for treatment 5, which is the positive control. So sorry, not negative, positive control, plus 0.045% fish oil. You get very good results. Survival rate also improve when we add some more bile acid in the feed formula. Feed conversion ratio also decrease when we add bile acid because of it helps to digest the lipid and also improve the digestion of protein and carbohydrate to get more amino acid and energy. For the hepatopancreas health, we determine 2 parameters, the hepatopancreas morphology by observe the percentage of constriction of hepatopancreas tubule and also the percentage of lipid droplet. We found that when we decrease the fish oil, the hepatopancreas condition not good and also the lipid accumulation is low. Hepatopancreas health, 1 is healthy, 2 is unhealthy. The high value mean not so good. For the lipid accumulation, the high percentage of lipid accumulation show the better lipid digestion and accumulation utilization. So when you add more bile acid in negative feed formula, you will improve the hepatopancreas health and also increase the accumulation of lipid in the hepatopancreas. That will be the nutrient storage during the molting cycle, during the molting. And this one, okay. The intestine also the same. When you use some bile acid, you can improve the intestinal health. Reduce the problems of the enteritis. So the color also the same. But this picture, because of the light come from this side, the picture not too clear. But we have determined the color by using the thermofan and also using the color limiter to show that when the lipid digestion improve, it means that carotenoid accumulate more. And also you can improve the growth performance, the size increase by using the bile acid in the feed formula. Yeah, and thank you for your attention.